it's hard for me to just put that on him. And when we talk about his legacy and what he's already accomplished individually, because in your eyes, if it had to come down to Robert Horry, probably be the best player in the world, greatest player of all time, because he got so many championships.
Well, first of all, that's real slick on your part, but you know better than that. But good comeback, good try. Good try. I see you've been hanging out with Malika and Shanae, and they put you up to stuff like that, but it's okay. It doesn't work, though. Here's the reality of the situation, Big Perk. As we look, of course we understand it's a team sport, but we're making the assumption that Joel Embiid is going to be Joel Embiid. We're looking at the roster that he's joining, and we're saying, okay, they can do what they've been doing.
I need to save room. I need to save room. This shit is crazy. I can't even enter into a freaking solo without being lagged out.
Because you're making the assumption that
like it just the game just lags me out. It's like, oh, you want to play a solo? Nope. We're just gonna shut the game down. Like, what the fuck? Like, is the game really that bad? I can't even enter into a solo without being lagged out. Like, I can't do a basic function in the game.
Is better than being in Brooklyn with KD and Kyrie, assuming availability is not an issue come playoff time. I don't know if Philadelphia gives gives Philadelphia. If James
it's funny how you can sell a game for $60 and it doesn't even work right. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
We think about Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey loves stars, and he deserves a lot of props and credit for what he's been able to accomplish in his career as an executive. But in the
literally, only EA could pull this debacle. Like, no one else could pull this shit off. You try to sell another market a broken product, they ain't buying that shit. Only the Madden community buys a broken product. And like, thank you, EA, and keeps buying. Only the Madden community will continue to buy a broken product. No other community does that. That just shows you how fucking stupid football fans are. It really does show you. I'm just trying to get this done. I'm just trying to have some fun. But I can't because Madden sucks. I'm on the run for some fun. With some steers and queers over there. New low for Fox Sports. What is he talking about? He's always advertising. Now he's got himself in the shower. Like, dude, I don't want to see you in the shower. Bro, they're hyping up Trey Lance. Like, they're hyping him up so much. And Aaron Rodgers, like, and this Tom Brady thing. I think Tom Brady's gonna come in the middle of the year and take over. That's what I think's gonna happen. And I also think Trey Lance is gonna go off because they keep talking about him. Is Rodgers even a free agent?
Ultimately, there are updates that I can give you from the Green Bay Packers side, Aaron Rodgers side, and Aaron Rodgers next.
Get up in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
This man has always been very consistent with his reporting in regards to Aaron Rodgers, saying that the Green Bay Packers general manager says that he has never promised to trade Aaron Rodgers. So that begs the question that we're all wondering, what do the Green Bay Packers do if Aaron Rodgers says he wants to play for a different team in 2022? Well,
they bite the bullet.
Said that those are some hypotheticals, and I don't think we're going to go down those roads right now. That was not
like he knows.
But again, I think the whole conversation with Aaron
pick that. Thank you. Now I gotta spank you. What the tits?
To win the Super Bowl next year. Aaron Rodgers is the MVP of the league. That's our goal. I think we have an opportunity to do it right now, and that's why. What's really interesting is what is going to happen. Jordan Love. And ultimately, if the Packers would want to trade Jordan Love, which apparently they don't want to trade Jordan Love, this would be the offseason
we
to
need
do
to
it.
chew
This
this
year's
clock.
NFL draft features
I'm trying to play a real human being
quarterback class. I mean,
to see
we're
where the
talking
skills are
2013
really
NFL
are
draft
at.
where Eli Manning was the first pick as a quarterback bad. And that's no offense to Matt Corral, that's no offense to Malik Willis, that's no offense to Sam Howell. It's just there's no Trevor Lawrence or Mac Jones or a Justin Fields or anything like that this year. And as a matter of fact, according to Mark Eckel, who
Man,
I'm
that's
gonna be
crazy.
honest,
No
I'm
one
not
else is
really
putting
familiar
out
with
like
this, but
NFL
former NFL
content.
executive says that the Packers quarterback
I'm like the
Jordan
only
Love
person
is
putting
better
out
than any
NFL
of the
content
current
other than
QBs
like
in this year's draft
broadcasts.
class, which could be very interesting, man, because Jordan Love's option is set to come up
It ain't
soon,
gonna
whether the
stop
Packers
either.
want to pick it up or not. And this would be the ideal year to see what you have in Jordan Love and maybe trade Aaron Rodgers and get a bunch of first-round picks. But so far, the Green Bay Packers have opted to do their absolute best to create as much salary cap space as humanly possible. They've done this with a myriad of restructures, and ultimately, the report that came out earlier this morning is one that is very controversial because we're very unsure whether it's true or not. The report being that Aaron Rodgers reportedly wants to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and he wants to get paid $50 million a year. Now, ultimately,
Chew
this
this
was
clock.
not for Greg
You need to
Jennings,
chew
the
this clock.
notorious Aaron Rodgers hater that was once his teammate, to hop on the bandwagon and call him out for being selfish.
You're trying to take a large chunk of the pie, knowing that Devontae Adams is out there, a guy that you want to play with. If you are to come back to Green Bay, knowing all these things, that if you are to take this amount of money, you understand what this would mean and what this does to your personnel.
What
You
does it
potentially
do?
will have to get rid of some guys.
Tell us.
And so for me, this is a little like, wait, all of a sudden it's about the money.
Weight off the shoulders.
Has been a very selfish guy, like, period.
And it's really funny,
Like
man. If you
Maxi
watch
Pad.
this clip from First Things First, you can tell that Nick Wright is trying his best to like quote Greg Jennings and get him to say some personal stuff that he probably shouldn't be saying.
You alluded to a personal experience, but can you give us a little more there on what you were talking about?
said he's
Maybe a little
selfish.
more? Do you feel comfortable?
And Greg Jennings just takes the bait.
I remember when I was up, B.J. Raji was up, Clay Matthews was getting ready to be up, and Aaron was getting ready to be up. Aaron Rodgers came to me when I signed my deal with the Green Bay Packers, my extension, my first extension after my rookie deal. And his words to me were, "Don't be that guy. Don't sign this contract and then want more money." Now, all of a sudden, you forget those words that you have.
If Aaron Rodgers wants $50 million a year, then you could come
We wanna run this
right
clock.
off the fact that he's going to
I don't
return
need
to
to
the
score
Green Bay
another
Packers.
touchdown.
There's like no hope whatsoever of this man signing a $50 million annual contract with the Green Bay Packers and being successful. As a matter of fact, if you do sign a $50 million contract with the Green Bay Packers, there's no way you could retain players like Devontae
That's a
Adams and
weird way to
Robert
fall.
Tonyan. It's just not possible, which is why if this report is true, you could make an argument maybe he goes to the Denver Broncos. They have a much more favorable cap situation, and they haven't even restructured anyone's contract yet, on top of the fact that they hired Aaron Rodgers' buddy and former offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. So if this report is true, then it is a clear indication that Aaron Rodgers might be on his way out. Side note, John Kuhn, the fullback of the Green Bay Packers Super Bowl winning team over a decade ago, actually called out Greg Jennings, saying that you were that guy that was
Right.
a little bit too selfish
He
with
was
his
that
contract.
guy.
I think alluding to the fact that Greg Jennings eventually joined the Green Bay Packers division rival,
The Minnesota Vikings,
Now, here's
right,
the
for more
important
money.
part of this entire situation.
He's a fucking
According
hypocrite.
to multiple sources, one being Andrew
I hate
Brandt,
hypocrites,
and the
bro.
other
I mean, we're
being
all
none other
hypocrites
than
to a certain
man that
point, but I hate,
really
like,
identify himself as a
egregious
source and kind of broke
hypocrites.
the mold for the first time in his
But
career.
everyone
Pat McAfee,
is a
this
hypocrite,
report
bro.
isn't
Like,
true, saying,
when you
according
think
to
about it,
Andrew
everyone is
Brandt,
a
listen,
hypocrite.
if the Rodgers Green Bay issues were just about money, this would be resolved by
Thank
now.
you.
Packers have shown
Oh my
willingness to pay top of market.
Why'd you bring
and
this
without
in
cap
here?
pain. All these rumors seem to subterfuge.
Yeah, just on the egg, here.
Reasons,
So it doesn't get warm.
What is going on between the
Here,
team
I
and
just want it on the
Rodgers?
eggs.
Then you have on the Pat McAfee show, Pat McAfee said, and I'm assuming this might
Thank
be
you.
via AJ Hawk. I don't know who this is via, but you rarely have this man coming out and saying whether something's true or not. He usually just
I don't even think I got you a card on your
very
birthday.
Similarly to the way I did. He'll commentate on reports that are out there and try to dive into whether or not
I got you
plausible or
presents.
not, and what the cause and effect of each report is. So this time he came out and said that this report of Aaron Rodgers wanting $50 million
Yeah,
a
it
year
did.
is quote-unquote categorically false. Which brings me to my next point. It seems like Greg Jennings was
That's a lie.
way too willing to hop on the Aaron Rodgers' selfish train. I mean, it seems like this individual just takes whatever opportunity there is to absolutely roast Aaron Rodgers. Now, Greg Jennings isn't the only
Well,
person
I
that's alone
digress.
in this, because to be honest, the fact that he lacks complete social awareness and wasn't able to see what
And I
Nick Webb was
digest.
trying to do just gives you an idea of the intelligence quotient this
You hear me?
individual has. But on
I said,
top
well, I
of that,
digress
Nick
and I
Wright
digest.
trying to prod Greg Jennings into slandering his ex-teammate, which, bear in mind, he would have done it anyways. I personally think he would have done it anyways. It just goes to show you the current state of sports media. I mean, this entire report, I'm choosing to believe, is categorically false because an individual close to Aaron Rodgers states it's categorically false. You can make the argument that it's true because a year ago there was this conversation about Aaron
I had
Rodgers
Michael
potentially
Vick. I
wanting
threw
to
one
be
pass
paid
with him.
significantly
I didn't
more
even
than
like
his
the way he
current
threw that
contract gave
pass. I
him.
don't care
But
for
in
Michael
this
Vick.
instant, it seems like Fox Sports didn't even take
Plus, he's
the
a dog killer.
time to ensure that this report
We don't
was
play with
true or
dog
not.
killers.
They just jumped on the
We
bandwagon.
don't
I
mess
don't
with
even
dog
know what
killers.
the original source for this $50
That's why the
million
NFL never gave him a
per year demand
championship.
came from. I don't know. I've just been going through a lot of these narratives recently, and just seeing how
He's
far
lucky the
people
league
are
even brought
willing
him
to
back.
take the Aaron Rodgers stuff personally just shocks
It's
me.
only because he made them
I
money.
understand diving into the man's
If he couldn't make
Instagram
the NFL
pictures
money,
and
they would have never
trying to
brought him back.
decipher whether or not he's being cryptic, because
Kinda
I honestly
silly.
think that's fun. I mean, maybe it's because it reminds me of when I was in high school and I had to, dive into Macbeth and Shakespeare and try to figure out the symbolism behind it, but it kind of reminds me of that, and I think it's pretty fun to try to decipher what this man's going to do next. But coming out and making a claim that Aaron Rodgers is selfish based upon the idea that he wants $50 million a year, based upon a report that isn't true, and just being so quick to jump on that bandwagon when this man was responsible for your only Super Bowl ring and both of your Pro Bowl appearances, is pretty pathetic. Now, as a result, Greg Jennings is just getting so much flack from current and ex-Green Bay Packers.
As
You have
he
Preston
should.
Smith coming out and saying, I don't know how anyone can publicly talk down on a current or former teammate.
Right.
That's a major character flaw.
least wait till
You have
he
Kurt
retires.
Baker coming out and saying how great of an individual Aaron Rodgers truly is. And look, I give people rope. There's times where I'm too quick on news and I jump on narratives way too freaking quickly. But I don't go as far as to slander individuals and tell
Yeah, that's
personal
fucked up.
stories about them in that instance. But we have a lot more Aaron Rodgers news to get to other than the absolute pathetic nature of Fox Sports' reporting today. So with that being said, this entire situation in regards to Aaron Rodgers' future is one gigantic mystery.
I don't get what Fox is
because
trying to do
on
with
one
that,
hand,
though.
you could take his Instagram post where he's being gracious towards his teammates as, oh, this might be goodbye. There's even some symbolism in there with Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams standing for the national anthem without Aaron Rodgers in between them. Or you could also look at that as a ploy to try to get Shailene Woodley back, which apparently it seems to be working so far. Needless to say, Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to predict at least before
Sit him
the
down.
end of March, will have his decision. And originally I thought he was going to be a Denver Bronco, but even now
By the
I'm
end
kind
of
of
March?
confused. Like,
Why
I can't
wouldn't he
say
want to
with
get
the
this
utmost
decision
confidence
done
and definitively
as
he's
soon
going to
as
be a Denver
possible
Bronco
so he
because I
can
don't
just
know
get where he
what
needs
his
to be and get
priorities
ready
are.
with his
If he's
team?
feeling sentimental and he really enjoyed the locker
Like, if
room
I was
atmosphere
him,
and
I would wanna
truly
get that
appreciates the relationships
situated,
he's
like,
formed with
now.
Matt LaFleur and the rest of his teammates, then I think
Like, why
he'll
would you
stay
wanna
with the
wait?
Green Bay Packers. But if he wants to win a Super Bowl and
'Cause
follow
you still
his
gotta
buddy Nathaniel
move,
Hackett
you
to
still
the
gotta
Denver
get
Broncos and have an
acclimated,
opportunity to
you gotta
have
get
some
used to
very
the city you're
competitive
in,
games against Patrick Mahomes
your
twice a year.
teammates,
There's
all
cap
that,
space, there's
your
great wide
family.
receivers, there's a great running back group, there's a great defense in place
I
there.
don't
There's
know why
assets.
guys
They
wait.
recently traded Von Miller. They got
And
a
it shows on the
significant amount
field,
of
too.
draft capital as a result
result of that, then you can anticipate him going to the Denver Broncos. So still, this entire situation's a gigantic mystery to me. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think is going to happen next. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.
Deserve.
Aaron Rodgers' days in Green Bay might be numbered. Will he take the top spot on Broussard's under duress list today? James Harden's making his Sixers debut tonight. Is the Beard's legacy on the line in Philadelphia? And would they, could they, should the Lakers trade LeBron James? Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome.
Hold on, I need to hear this.
Our college relationship was, the typical.
She dated the backup quarterback.
There wasn't really one.
Yeah.
To get close to him.
He didn't want one. That asshole.
She dated the backup quarterback and make him jealous.
Could you blame him?
We went back and forth there for a little bit with the love-hate. Some of my podcast is our story. Because it's a
She's like, I'm gonna date your teammate to piss you off. Oh, and by the way, he is the same position as you, and he is sniffing to take your job. Like what?
Listen, he deserves.
That's like the worst thing you could have done.
That backup is crazy. What is he doing?
You know what? He was like the bad boy. He Matthew's like this genuine soul, and then it was the bad boy. So
Yeah, but he's the backup. You're like, if I'm Matthew, I'm sending
You
the
know
offensive
she
line
smashed,
after,
too.
Like, this guy off the team. Get him out of here.
I don't think he saw the field.
So Matt
after
Stafford's
that.
soft for that one.
But in the end, I always tell him we ended up together, and we had to go
After
through
she
all
had her
this.
bad boy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like Matthew Stafford is a fucking idiot. He's an idiot, truly. Utterly.
The Feisty Show here on First Things First. Nick Wright, Chris Broussard, Jenna Wolf.
Truly and
Kevin
utterly.
Wilds is off today. Nick, they shipping LeBron out of Hollywood already?
You try some shit like that on me, that shit would not
They had their
work.
chance. I created a perfect trade for them at the deadline. Get LeBron to Philly. Get him back
I go to the
on the
backup
East
cheerleader
Coast,
then.
right on stay
You
up
do
till
that
1
to
in
me.
the morning.
Like,
They
the
didn't do it.
fuck?
So no, now
He's
they gotta
tripping.
They got to keep him for the contract.
Now it's
Jenna.
He
on
is
them.
We
tripping.
had it all worked out.
Now it's on you, Lakers. All right, we'll get to plenty more on a potential LeBron trade. We got to start this morning talking Aaron Rodgers. As the offseason
Especially
of
if I know
mystery
he, like, my
continues,
teammate
will
smashed.
he
It's
stay
not
or will he
happening.
Will he go? And if he goes, where? Another
not
wrinkle added to the
happening.
drama yesterday. Diana Rossini reporting that Rodgers wants to become the league's highest paid player and, quote, by a wide margin. So what does that mean? Well, it means somewhere in the $50 million a year range, and that for a 38-year-old quarterback. Yeah, that was my reaction too, Nick. Are you surprised this is about money after everything we've heard from Rodgers?
I mean, who does Rodgers think he is? Tony Romo? $50 million a year. So, all right, here's the deal. I was shocked by this, Brew, and maybe I shouldn't have been. Because our dear friend Eric Mangini told us a year ago he thought this was all about money. And if this is true, then it appears to, in large part, be about money. So I'm going to try to go quickly here. So on the actual numbers, if he does want $50 million per year, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Broncos, and the Colts can pretty easily do it. And I know that people are like, oh, Broncos, that's been, a team he's been tied to, maybe for this reason. Washington and Pittsburgh, it wouldn't be easy, but they could do it. You know who definitely cannot do it? The Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers' cap hit next year is $46 million already, and that's despite the fact that he's actually receiving compensation from them of less than $30 million. So they have like $17 million of old cap years applying to this year, not to mention his current contract with the $46 million cap hit this year.
I put a double
Broussard
team on that guy
has
that was
a
not
void
blocked.
year next year, the following year I should say, with an $8 million cap hit for him not to play for them. I know that's convoluted. It's my job to, do that research so the viewers don't have to. Trust me when I say this. Packers can't pay him $50 million. Certainly can't pay him $50 million to keep Devontae Adams. So if he wants this money, he's leaving. And I have two major takeaways. One is, I'm really surprised that Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career would be prioritizing an extra $10 or $12 million over an extra Super Bowl appearance. you know, to give himself the best chance to get there. And
Because the NFL is scripted.
I'd like your
It's not real. He knows he's not probably going to win another one, so he just wants the money. That's all that tells me. If he's not trying to win a Super Bowl, it's because the league's not going to let him win one, and he knows it. So he just wants to get paid.
When I look around the league,
that's how I see it.
Not after the last few playoff runs, I don't look at Aaron Rodgers as the best quarterback in football.
So he's basically telling us that Aaron Rodgers knows that he's not going to win a Super Bowl.
Bad news for his Packers.
So thanks, appreciate that.
Bad news for his chance to win another Super Bowl, and I think it'd be bad business to make Aaron Rodgers the far-away highest paid player.
This game is something else.
I'll get to your question of whether or not he should be the
They're just telling you how fake the NFL is, really.
Was I surprised?
Like,
no, maybe slightly, but not seriously surprised, because in what may be an understatement, Aaron Rodgers can be smug and disingenuous.
Oh, you
we
think?
all agree on that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we have proof in that at the beginning of the season, he had no issue lying to the media, misleading the media, right, with his immunized, the vaccination and all that stuff. All right, so to think that a lot of this stuff that is played out in the media might not really be about what he says it's about, yeah, I can believe that. So surprised,
football carry moves and win the game.
Disappointed, yes.
So we're just
Because
gonna
if this indeed is true, that he wants to be not only the highest paid player in the league, but the highest paid by a significant margin,
and then we play with
then
real
that may
players.
tell us why Aaron Rodgers hadn't played in the Super Bowl in 11 years. Because his priority is not winning.
Look how slow he is.
Not first and foremost. And don't get me wrong, he should get paid. I have no problem with Aaron Rodgers winning market value, maybe above market value. And while I agree, Nick, that he is not the best quarterback in the league, I would give that, as you would, I'm sure, to Patrick Mahomes. He's up there, and he's close enough with the last two MVPs where you could justify making him the highest paid quarterback in the league. Like, he's 38, I get it, but if you said for the next 3 years, even
I'm not really
4
trying
years,
to score.
he's going to be the highest
But I gotta
paid
do his ball
quarterback in the
carrying
league, at
moves.
least starting this
I gotta do
offseason.
2 more.
I could live with
and then
that
we just
because
run
we
out the
know how
clock.
it works. Jimmy Garoppolo was at one point the highest paid quarterback in the league. So that's just how it works in many cases.
Yeah, that's how the market works. You get trumped and trumped and
He
trumped.
wants $50 million according to Diana Rossini, and Patrick Mahomes made $45 million last year as the highest paid player in the league. So he wants a $5 million jump. That is ridiculous.
I think that's just
And
an
here's the
excuse
thing, Nick.
because he wants to
You
be
look at
traded,
the
so he's just
winners
making it
of
seem
our
like
day.
that's what the issue
Tom
is.
Brady.
I'm not
he
beat.
made a
I
ton
know
of
what it
money.
is.
He's made more than any quarterback in history, any player in history. But it wasn't all about the money for him. It was more about, let me lead. I'll get paid, but I'm going to leave a little bit for the other guys to make sure that we can have a Super Bowl contending
That's
team.
because he knew
Michael
the league
Jordan
was going to let him
never
win.
about the money.
Like,
I mean, he was woefully
they're not telling the full
underpaid
story.
for most of his career. LeBron James, when he went to Miami to really win, he ended up getting the same amount of money, but he was willing to take less before the Cavs succumbed to a sign and trade. So a lot of, even Patrick Mahomes, we all know he left money on the table.
He could have gotten
because he wanted
100%.
to leave. Absolutely. He wanted to leave them room to get other players. So Aaron Rodgers, who's been the 5th highest paid player
he knows
in
they're not going to
NFL
win.
history. $263 million.
Like, if your team is that close,
his major concern
why
at this
wouldn't you
point
take a pay cut
is,
to
man,
get
I
more
gotta
yards?
get my
Because he knows they're not
I gotta
going
be
to
the
win.
highest paid
That's
player,
why.
and by a lot.
It's clear.
Then that tells us why you got one Super Bowl, and it was eons ago.
And it to me, it contradicts what one thing he has been very consistent about, even when they were, posting Last Dance memes, was that he wants to be with Davante Adams. Well, Davante Adams has as strong, if not a stronger case, to be the highest paid receiver in the league. Then Rodgers at this point has to be the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Well, I don't know about that because Rodgers is the one throwing him the ball. I don't know if Davante's going to get the ball like he's getting the ball
money Aaron Rodgers has made
from Rodgers from any other quarterback. The way Rodgers passes that football is like no one else. He's not going to have that same production anywhere else.
the very end
Even
of their
with the
careers.
NFL being
First
fake.
of all, because he's playing
no
at a
one
higher
throws the
level
football
than those
like
guys were at
Rodgers.
the very end of their careers. And second of all, because nobody has that obligation. I'm not saying Rodgers should say to the Packers,
Mahomes is the
"Pay me
closest one.
$10 million."
He ain't going
I'm
there.
not saying that at all. But
Josh Allen, he ain't going there
legit
either.
surprised when I heard that not only does he theoretically want a contract extension, but a contract extension above market value. And I think going into next year, I think the vast majority of people would say Mahomes and Josh Allen going in next year as the top 2 quarterbacks in football. It would not shock me if during next season, Herbert and Burrow become the other guys on that top 5 list.
Stop.
And then
Why you even
Rodgers
putting
is
that
in
out
there
in the
with
ether?
Matt Stafford or
It's all
Dak
about
Prescott
stories.
or whomever is, your favorite, if you're really high on Kyler or Lamar, whatever. But I think Stafford, by the way, is going to get a new deal because Stafford's making like $20 million for the last year of his contract.
Of course he is.
So he'll probably get in the $40 million range. But when the Packers
Now they're throwing
are
that out in the
cap
ether.
hell, for
So
Rod-
what?
for the-
So we have a
theoretically,
dynasty in the Rams
only way for them to bring him
department?
back, they would have to they'd have to get rid of both of the Smith brothers. I know they're not actually brothers, but Za'Darius and Preston. I don't think they could bring back Devontae. And then if I'm Aaron Rodgers, that's not a team I want
That's
to
a
play
big
my
deal.
last few years for.
That's a
It's
big,
just
big deal.
perplexing to me.
Well, look, maybe it is an excuse, if it's true, for him to get out of Green Bay. All right, and I got to admit it, even though I think Green Bay keeping the guys you mentioned, right? If they can keep the guys you mentioned and bring back Aaron Rodgers, I think that's clearly his best shot to win a Super Bowl. Because the NFC is not as tough.
I had a plan and I
Green Bay
stuck with it.
obviously-
I told you if we would execute
In
it.
this tweet, Isaiah again
Told you.
the greatest.
Joy Taylor in for Colin Cowherd today. We talked to Jimmy Butler, Taylor Rooks, and Ryan Russillo earlier. And now,
Bruh.
welcome in Emmanuel Acho. There he
Colin
is.
by himself and her by herself, they suck. They're only good
Lane
together.
Johnson,
I only like
who's gonna
them
get
when
a
they're
lot of Hall of
together.
Fame
When
votes.
they're
9
battling
years in the
each other,
league.
it's not
3
really
Pro
good. Their
Bowls. He's gonna
dynamic
add a
together
couple
is what
to
makes the
that.
show good.
He's allowed 2 sacks in 3 years. So he's a handful. And he is outspoken. And right now he's in Oklahoma. Everybody in the state hates him. Every single person.
You want
and he's a Sooner, and he is joining us live.
Does the puppy want num-nums?
I am not well liked in your state.
Does the
So let me
puppy
be
want
honest.
num-nums?
When Lincoln Riley said, you know what? I like it here, but I'm going to try USC. Were you just beside yourself when he did that?
I was beside myself for about 2 minutes when I saw kind of what he was given, and I was like, that's a pretty sweet deal. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, losing a great coach is something you don't want to do at a program like Oklahoma. But with the person that we hired in Brent Venables, I think it's going to turn things around for the better. He was there as a defense coordinator whenever I was playing, and I just think he brings the intensity that this program is needed. I think the emphasis maybe on the defense can hopefully get us over the hump. And I think that's where we're at right now. But yes, there was
That's
still
that fake
a lot of
shit right there.
angry Oklahomans around here. So
Oh yeah. I hear from him every day, Lane, every day. Let me ask you about Doug Peterson. So he took the Jags job. I always liked Doug. I've had him on the show. I think he's fun. I think he always feels like a player's coach. Like, you can't wear your players down. We've added another game. Camps are long. He's got a McVay feel to him that, like, he's good to be around. If you have to be around somebody a long time, I always liked him. When we go back to your years with Doug, what's his strength, and what are things he could work on in your opinion?
Here we go. Rip them to
I think
shreds.
he learned a lot from being under Coach Reed. I think just how to handle the
You think? He thinks?
the staff, handle the players.
So you
I feel
think?
like he always
Okay.
wanted the players, the leadership to lead the locker room, and he would speak a lot to
What's up, puppy?
to the older veteran players.
Hi, puppy.
So I think he commanded a lot of respect.
You okay?
I don't know. I guess
Is the
something
puppy
maybe to work
okay?
on. I mean, he was very successful with us as far as making the playoffs.
Is the puppy okay?
I don't know. I just maybe with new talent coming to the league, it's just a different type of person coming in. So communication, I think, is ultimately the key in everything. So
Who is it?
But I think he'll have a lot of success there. I know he's excited.
Good boy.
Close to his home.
Yeah, no, I like it. So I'm a fan of Carson Wentz.
I don't
He
think
didn't
I
end the
even
year
have
real
a
great,
fullback.
but I will say
I
this,
use a tight end
27
at
TDs, 7
fullback.
picks, and I don't think the Colts have a great wide receiver group.
But
I think Pittman's
honestly,
really good, and then it's kind of
Frank Wycheck is an animal.
He's about ready to go. So I thought Carson. I watched him this year duel Brady.
All-Star's pretty good too,
go up
but it's
against
going to
Matt
lower my
Stafford.
overall. So
I mean, I watched him make a lot of plays. That's all I know.
Do that. Just take the training.
There was though, Lane, and you're a straight shooter. There were some knocks on him that
Yeah, we're gonna take the
wasn't always a
training.
great locker room guy. Whatever. Not every listen, Aaron Rodgers is a lot different personality than Russell Wilson. These guys aren't all the same dude. Are any of the criticisms of Wentz fair? Because we know he's talented. Lane, are any of the criticisms that he may not be one of the guys all the time? Is that fair?
You know, I think the quarterback position
I gotta be
is
close to getting my Cam
probably the most
Chancellor
scrutiny
done.
maybe ever that it's ever been. But I think that kind of comes with the territory of being the head of a franchise, the face of a franchise.
What's wrong, puppy?
I think he's gonna. If
What's
he doesn't
wrong,
take the Colts,
puppy?
I think he's gonna land with a.
You okay?
With a great team. I heard you talking
You
about
okay?
Pittsburgh. I think it would be a good pickup for them.
Yeah,
good
just having
boy.
that defense they have, and then what he brings to the table.
I
So,
know.
yeah, it's unfortunate.
All right, we
that,
need 16
you know,
more
maybe
wins.
Not get to the playoffs. That's all you look
It's not
at.
bad.
The quarterbacks and what they do in the postseason. And
So
you can
maybe
say it's
you
fair, unfair,
play a
but at the end
couple
of the day, it's what
house
comes,
rules
with
and
the
weekend
territory.
league.
So,
See what's going
moving
on with
forward, I
that.
think he'll get a shot somewhere, and I think this will be a point to where he can prove all the doubters wrong.
So Lane Johnson did not allow a sack this year, and he's got a very mobile quarterback in Jalen Hurts. So you've been around this game for a long time. You know where the skeletons are buried. You know the ins and outs. You got it down, right? Like at this point, you're one of the guys the coaches come to, ask you
Yeah,
about
Wycheck's
practice.
an animal.
They're going to lean on you and say, Lane,
I wish I
how's
could
the
have kept
locker room, blah, blah,
Keyshawn
blah.
over
So then you
here
get
for
Jalen
Randy
Hurts, who's a
Moss.
kid.
I need a new
And
Randy
you're a
Moss
veteran, he's a
ASAP.
kid. And
They have to
I
drop
can
his
see
card
a
like
veteran
yesterday.
offensive lineman, being
I
impatient,
need that.
or are we rebuilding? Where are you guys at?
Let's see how
If
this
you get
team
to the
plays.
playoffs, where are you guys at?
We
with
need
Jalen
16
Hurts?
more wins, and then we get our maxed
this
out
year he
Cam
made a
Chancellor,
tremendous
which will make a
statement. I feel like once
hitch
we got
difference.
back to our
I'm
identity, or
talking
established
hitch,
identity,
okay?
and used,
I'm talking
everybody's
massively
strengths. I think we took off.
I might get lagged out if I do.
Unfortunately, how
I'll restart the
Tampa Bay game
stream.
turned out, but
Hopefully
a lot
I
of momentum,
don't. This
especially
game does it
from
all the
2-5
time.
and then switching that
We'll
around
see.
to what we did. So
If I ever
it's kind of
abruptly
been the
get
tale of
shut
us
down,
the
it's
past few years
because
that
EA
we
Sports
started
did
out
it.
slow, and
It's
I
not
think
me.
that puts us in a bind there in December.
If I'm going to
Now,
quit out of a
yes,
game, I'm
but
going to
it's
manually
always been
do it. I'm
early
not going to just
playoff exit.
shut
So
the game off
around
like
the board,
that.
you know, we're going to look at everybody. It comes with the nature of this business. Everybody gets evaluated, but seeing some of the plays that he made and what he's capable of, we have a young receiving core that's just getting better.
Yep.
Our offensive line, Jordan Malott and Landon Dickerson coming to their own. So I feel like a lot of upside is heading to this offseason. And as you know, it's going to be a quarterback carousel. Nobody knows what's going to happen or what's going to take place. But I think he proved what he's capable of and slowly build upon that. Even you look at Trevor Lawrence
I didn't see
situation.
any of his players.
Peyton Manning, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but he had 18 interceptions as a rookie or close to that. So, like I said, a lot's done on their plate, and I think
Can't believe I'm doing this weekend league on my
Yeah, I'm
birthday.
watching some of these highlights.
It's
He's
causing
making good
stress.
throws.
Yeah, and it does make, especially for off the tackle, if you have a mobile quarterback, it
Causing
does make
stress
the pass rush.
early.
A lot of guys
Early.
break contain. They don't want him to escape. You look at Lamar Jackson a few years ago when he comes onto the scene, has that dynamic running ability, and it's a headache for the defense, especially whenever maybe they may be in zone and everybody's accounted for, then a guy breaks, and you see a lot of this with Jalen is able to break for 20, 30-yard scampers, and that's very deflating for a defense if you can't get it under control.
I like Lane so much. If a lot of these Sooner people, they're not very nice to me. I like Lane. You know what? You move way up on my Sooner board. I like Bob Stoops. I like you. You know what? Baker and I think we have a chance. We got a little.
Hey, y'all had some quarrels early, but it's pretty upwards.
Lane, exactly. Baker and I, listen, not every relationship's perfect. You have fights even with your wife, right? It happens.
Yeah.
No big
Bruh,
deal.
that was a
Hey, by the way,
touchdown. You fucked me
yeah,
up.
you've got something called a bro barn. So you got one of these things where all your guys work at this thing? Is this like a Jay Glazer workout place? What is this?
Man, actually was an old horse barn on the property, so when I bought it, it was just nothing there. So I turned it into a gym, and even when I'm gone, a lot of the guys are still going over there working out just because it's, maybe closer to their house and don't have to worry about anything. So, yeah, so a lot of the young guys are in there right now, even when I'm not there. So it's all been good.
All right. Well, you know what? He was very classy on that Lincoln Riley question. You were very classy. You could have gone sideways really fast. But you know what? You're a guy that's moved. So when somebody comes up to you and they give you a big check and they
he literally. I had a double team on him, and he just goes right through.
Options, right?
Hey, there's always a few
like really, EA Sports.
It's really what you got to evaluate. And so,
So you call it double team and nothing happens. Okay.
The things that were placed on his table, I was going, not so bad.
All right. Great seeing you. Have a great off season.
Good seeing you. Appreciate you.
All right, Lane Johnson, proud Oklahoma Sooner, no sacks last year. Gonna keep playing. Play 4 or 5 more years. You're gonna get Hall of Fame votes right there. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.
Older shows? Older? You want to talk about older? Older
3
ones?
Super Bowl rings. All right.
You want to talk about older?
Your audience, your worshipers, your followers in the morning, you and Evans, and you guys just crush things. What is I think he stays in Green Bay, but what is the feeling there this morning in Denver when they're driving to work and calling your show? What is the feeling this morning on Aaron to the Broncos?
People are like, hey man, either drop a load or get off the pot, for crying out loud. At least tell us what you're going to do. Quit being cryptic. I think there are a lot of people that are really excited about the potential of Aaron Rodgers, and then there are a lot of people, Colin, that look at Aaron Rodgers and say, well, that's a 2-year fix, and then what? They want that young quarterback, that's somebody you can build a team around for the next 15 years.
It's all fabricated.
That's what they thought they
Bro,
were getting
trust me, I know. Look at my channel. I promote rigged NFL. I just listen to this shit, so I know how to go about what I'm doing.
That is not
trust me, I know this stuff is staged.
So I'm one of those guys that I'll trade away unknown commodities for a known commodity.
I'm one of the guys. I'm one of the good guys. I know.
In order to win a championship, you think they regret it in Tampa Bay, and I know he wasn't tradable.
But I like to hear them contradict themselves.
But you know what I'm saying. So I think.
And they build the storylines for the season coming up, so you get to really see how it shapes up based on what they're saying.
We've said this is that
they already know what's going to happen. They know who the Super Bowl winner is going to be next year already. You better believe that.
Go from average to below average to Super Bowl, and I felt that with Tampa and Tom Brady.
They already
know. They just needed a quarterback. What is the option if Aaron doesn't sign? What's Denver's second choice?
Yeah, based on a gut feeling for me, and I still have some ties within the organization, but the gut feeling for me is that this is one of those situations where they're going to continue to build this roster under George Payton, former assistant general manager of Minnesota, continue to build the roster, and then go after a veteran established quarterback. Whether it's
what's with these why are you hiring former GMs? Go after new guys. Don't go after a guy that didn't make it. Let's give a new guy a shot. It's just crazy.
The next tier of guys, and then
NFL likes to keep it in the family. We know.
Bridge quarterback and try to draft somebody. If you still think that Drew Lock's career is salvageable, based upon the offense,
what the hell?
Back to Denver. Remember, when he was under this offense,
oh my God, this game is awful.
First year under offense coordinator Rich
I literally just picked the ball off and it went through my body. Let's watch this bullshit together.
Drew Lock played fairly well. He was 4-1 as a starter.
Who would jump like that? It's like he. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay, so he jumped like this. He went like this. Instead of going like this, he went like this. Okay, anyone would do that. All he had to do was go like that, and it's an interception. But they make him go like this, like a fucking dinosaur, a T-Rex. Doesn't extend his arms. That was literally a routine catch.
It's over. But he goes on his podcast.
That was nothing special.
I'm open to stuff.
But okay.
would you be shocked?
So I'm gonna have to
if
put
Colin came out
Deion
really
Sanders over
strong?
there now, so to
Yeah, I
prevent
would.
that bullshit.
I would. Like, I don't
Because
see
Deion
him-
will jump
like,
up and
Aaron
just
Rodgers I
snatch
see as
that.
a mercurial
Whereas
guy.
Ronnie Lott sometimes he
I
just
see
like
Tom Brady as a
alligator
completely
arm shit.
detailed, well thought out. This was
Ronnie
not something that was
freaking
just
Lott,
spur of the
man.
moment. And then I get the people
I don't
that say,
hate you,
well,
but
you know,
that really
the relationship
is not the way you should have been playing that, man.
That
That'll never happen again. Once I put
there's no virgin
Deion
meat on
over
your
there,
plate.
that'll never happen
It has
again.
all been chewed, regardless of who you are. So I don't look at it like, man, my feelings got hurt and things went sideways. I mean, that happens during the course of a season. But I just look at him as so detailed and him so planned out. You know, now maybe a year away from football and he decides, hey, man, I can still play. I've been keeping in shape. I want another opportunity. Maybe there's a chance, but I don't see him walking away from Tampa, after a playoff run and saying, I'm going to go over to San Francisco and see how that works out. I don't buy that. I just think he's too detailed for that.
By the way, the Rams lost their OC, coach of the Vikings, and then he hired another Ram assistant to be his OC. So they lose 2 more guys. They've lost 4 coordinators in 5 years. They've lost multiple assistants like Joe Barry, Shane Waldron. I mean, it's like Bama losing offensive coordinators. You tell me, when you guys win Super Bowls, and maybe society wasn't quite as mobile, but you're getting cherry picked. So I'm looking here on the board. The former Sean McVay assistants, good God, he has lost a lot of really high-end guys. Do you think at some
Brady's
point
he's
it's
probably
just
going to
too
come
much?
back in the middle of the year, I think.
You can't be quite as tight next year.
That's probably how that's going to play out.
Well, I think
It's a better story if he comes in the middle of the year and saves the team.
That's always going to be somewhat of an issue.
Like, oh, they need Tom Brady, and he comes back and wins the championship for them and then retires. That'll be a bigger story. That'll be more of the Disney ending.
He's got, like, Kevin O'Connell was really his right-hand man, but he's got other really good coaches. And I think one of the things that you have to understand...
Of course he won't jump. Of course he won't jump. I'm like clicking onto him, trying to jump for the ball because I'm 6'6", and he just won't leave the ground. But the guy who's 5'10" gets to jump up, right? So that's how we're gonna play this right now. We're gonna play it like oh my god. They're just literally screwing me over right now.
You've gone out there and you've said
they literally just let him look. I'm trying to jump and my guy won't. It's like I'm grounded. This is why I don't like this game.
So they already have the
It's unrealistic. It's bullshit.
Essentially coach the coaches as we develop and as we promote.
Like literally, it's complete bullshit. How I have a 6'6" receiver and he won't jump for the football.
Sean McVay is to me,
now he's going to run crossers again.
Dynamic leaders in all of football. There's leaders because they're in a position of authority. And then
I told you, this time Deion will jump. The only reason you got that last time is because it was Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott is not going to jump for whatever reason.
He's somebody who leads. He's not just a leader because he's in a position of authority.
But for some reason, my 6'6" wide receiver can't leave the ground.
That room, and people want to follow.
Oh yeah, the NFL's a joke, bro. Watch my videos, you'll see, bro. I call them out on everything. I break down the games and just literally pick them apart.
Develop coaches, and they all get opportunities.
By the way, about a minute left, 45 seconds to a minute left.
The channel's growing slowly but surely.
A bunch of hearts on it, and like Hallmark sayings and stuff. What'd you make of that thing?
It felt like he was saying goodbye. Now, is he saying goodbye to Green Bay, or is he saying goodbye to the NFL? Like, you went back to back MVPs. Can you really say goodbye to the NFL? I mean, he was throwing sweet nothings to his Friday coaches and all
he was throwing
that,
sweet nothings.
Have helped him along the way.
Word.
From his Instagram,
yeah. So then you know what I'm talking about.
Green Bay, and I hope he's coming to Denver. But selfishly, I have a radio show in Denver that would really be helpful for my ratings.
You gotta love when your 6'6" wideouts don't jump.
I mean, it was a bunch of
I hate that when they get stuck.
It's I didn't hear it as a goodbye, but my instincts are off all the time. So Mark Slara says, Joy, what did you think? Did you think it was a goodbye?
I mean, that's kind of like a closure post.
You fell. Oh my.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get
Oh yeah, if the league was real, Mahomes would be tearing it up.
Clips from the herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.
On second down, this is Jackson. And he's got this down almost to the 20.
Let's call a timeout there, just because.
All right.
I need that.
First ever.
I need that.
Recipient of the Herd Big J Journalism Award.
Just to calm the guys down.
Regularly.
Settle down. Bring it in.
And it was to Tyler Dunn. He covered the Bills and the Packers for years. Now he has GoLongTD.com. GoLongTD.com. Founder and writer. Covers the Packers. Also has Bob McGinn on his staff, who's a legendary writer for the Packers. And Bob came out with an
Keep fighting, bro. I love the way Bo fights.
Something I've been on for years, and I know this is confirmation bias, but I think it's
Bo Jackson just fights, bro. He throws haymakers. He's like, I'm coming for you, boy. Oh, you want to blitz the whole team? Are you sure you want to blitz the whole team? Is that what you really want to do? You can do it. I just wouldn't advise it, but you can do it, though. I wouldn't advise it, but you surmise it.
I'll open with this, Colin, and obviously he writes for my website to go long, so biased here. And
I want to cause him to use timeouts.
Bob McGinn, but nobody has watched Aaron Rodgers more closely than Bob from day one. Training camp practices, exhibition games, regular season games, playoff games. He has seen this quarterback every snap his entire career, and I think he absolutely nailed it.
Wow.
To the playoffs, the windows get
I had a touchdown. I pressed the wrong fucking button. I literally had two guys open. I pressed the wrong button because I was just nervous. I was so nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. He blitzed everybody, and I was like, oh my god, I have so many open guys. And I pressed the wrong button. Son of a tit.
Baltimore to Dallas Clark on their Super Bowl run. Just an insane throw. Tom Brady, every single postseason run. The 28-3 game, the throw to Chris Hogan. I mean, these are the throws you don't see out of Aaron Rodgers. And I think the passer rating, especially with the way the rules are set up, it's so outdated, it's so prehistoric. You really can't gauge and judge these quarterbacks off of that.
Why can't you?
Turning the ball over does matter. We're not sitting here saying, oh, you got to go out there and throw 4 picks. But take a chance. I mean, that was as apathetic of a performance in a playoff game that you'll ever see out of a future Hall of Famer. I mean, you're playing Jimmy Garoppolo at home, 5.5-point favorite, and you don't even take those chances down the field. You miss that.
Mean Joe Green could have just to the end zone, bro.
For a decade now out of Aaron Rodgers.
It's interesting. They have until March 8th to franchise Davante Adams, which they're going to keep him, obviously. That's the only way to retain Aaron Rodgers. He's not sticking around without Davante, I would think. So, now I've heard reports now, Tyler, that if they do franchise tag him, that's not what Davante wants.
Bro, he's literally getting lucky, bro. He's abusing that shit, bro. He's abusing that shit, bro, on some horse. Bro, he's abusing that bullshit, bro. Look at this. I click on, I come over, and then they do that stupid thing. Like, no one jumps for a pick like that. No one does that. Where the bro, no one does that. Like, that's not how people go for high points. Like, if they would just let me high point it, nah. But I'm getting equalized right now. It's so stupid. He's literally, okay, whatever. Alright. Okay, EA Sports. So you let him score 2 times identically. Literally identically. Like, it's so stupid, bro. Like, come on, like, earn your points. Like, earn your points, bro. Like, you're not a good player. Like, you're literally throwing it right to me. And they're just like, not. Oh my god. Wow. He literally lives on that shit. You can tell that's what he does. He comes out and uses a glitch. This dude comes out and uses a glitch, bro. Like, that's what he does, bro. He comes out glitching. If that's what you do, bro, that's what you do. What can you say if someone likes to glitch? Oh yeah, So we volleyball it right to you. How convenient. How convenient for you, I guess, right? It's all about conveniency, I guess.
Green Bay's going all in on Aaron Rodgers, and
It's all about conveniency, I guess.
whatever they did behind the scenes, Aaron Rodgers has that ability to get out if he still wants out. So we'll see what happens. I tell you what, I know he loves Nathaniel Hackett.
You gotta love it,
He
man.
told me last spring that, he may so like Matt LaFleur, tolerate Matt LaFleur, but he loves Nathaniel Hackett. That it's a quote, I don't want to mess this up, Dewey Gaga kind of love.
Yeah, I'm done with this shit, yo. This shit is so gay. It's like the same animation every time.
I guess The Bachelor comes to the NFL.
Like, literally, it's gay, honestly, at this point. At this point, you're literally like a gay guy. You're a gay guy, honestly. At this point, you're a gay guy. You literally just keep doing that gay shit.
So you can get 3 years tarmac.
You're literally abusing it. Like, it's not even, like, funny at this point. At this point, you're just a shitty human being.
That's the game everybody plays. Well, the Niners, I still
This guy's a shitty human being, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Anybody that's just gonna sit there and abuse some bullshit like that, I don't know, bro. There's something up with you, bro. Like, you're just a weirdo, bro. Like, this guy's a fucking weirdo. Like, if this shit was even slightly realistic, like, let's be real, bro. Even slightly, just a little realistic. Like, you're running a fucking crosser, and I'm fucking right there, and they're not letting me fucking take the ball. Like, you're fucking gay, bro. That's the only thing I can think. You definitely take it in the ass. You like it too. I mean, I'm not judging you for it, but it's cool.
You're absolutely right on Jordan Love. If you saw the necessary development,
He's all into that shit, that weird shit.
He was, if he called. Because what a luxury it is.
Like, he's literally like abusing it, bro. It's bad.
Yes. Especially with his defense, Kenny Clark.
He's abusing it. Like he's a good player or something.
You can win with that defense, and you can surround Jordan Love with talent. I still think
like he's a good player or something, bro. It's kind of crazy to me.
Limited prospects, whatever you want. I mean, what an opportunity.
If you can run other plays that weren't glitching, then I would probably think you're a good player. But you're glitching the game out and like exploiting the game. That's all you're doing. You're exploiting the game.
It seems that they want to do everything in their power to bring Aaron Rodgers back.
Enterprising football journalism. Go to golongtd.com.
Oh, now he sees the crossers not there.
That was my friend, great seeing.
He's exploiting the game and shit.
You bet. Ian Bob again did great work. No, he pointed out something that is really interesting. With Green Bay's cap issues, and they are severe. We saw the Saints go through this a couple years ago. You kind of go all in for a couple of years. I think you should do that if you have an Aaron Rodgers, a Drew Brees.
The fact that he has all that time back there is just gay. Just like his offense.
And the fact that,
bro, he doesn't have an offense. His offense is based on if the game's gonna glitch for him or not. Like, that's what his offense is. Is the game gonna fucking make him glitch out and not catch the ball and intercept me? That's what his offense is based on.
If the Packers really like Jordan Love, he said this. You start hearing rumblings of how good he looks at practice.
Let's watch this together. I'm getting equalized this game, guys. What can I say? Look at this. Alright, I'm done with this. They want him to win this one. I'm playing, what's it called? House rules. This shit is gay. I'm not about to be stressing out on my B-Day, bro. This is not gonna happen.
They have major cap issues, and they're not considering it. Like that tells you the pick was a bust.
I'm not doing that, bro. There's no way in fucking hell that I'm about to be stressing out on my B-Day.
About, like, this guy's really
fucking weekend league. I don't want to deal with that shit. That shit is so gay.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the
There's literally a bunch of tryhards and fucking cheating. That's all weekend league is. Tryhards and cheaters. Like, he just wants to play the same defense, make no adjustments, you know what I mean, and then run one play on offense. Like, that's not football. That's literally fucking, that's gay as shit. Like, that's not football. That's what Madden is, though.
And so I've got 4 or 5 NBA topics. You tell me great take or let's debate. So I'll start with this one. And I said this at the end of last year. With LeBron 16 years in the NFL, he's now a Super Bowl champ, Walter Payton Man of the Year, a 4-time Pro Bowler, 1 sack in 106 snaps, 1 sack.
Yeah, that was written. What a written story.
Feet, so it's not a real sack. Andrew Whitworth is joining us, the Super Bowl champ. You know, as I watched you and others, last year Kansas City fell apart physically and got blown out in the Super Bowl. It can't be underscored. You guys fell apart. So you had a special team.
I'm about to be grinding for my cam. I'm probably fuck weekend league. Like, I really need to win 3 weekend league games, but like, I just can't deal with that shit right now. Like, that shit is just so fucking stressful. Weekend league is literally a ball of stress, and not the good kind either.
Right now, if everyone stay healthy. We got a chance to win this game because we really knew the way the defense was playing.
I'd rather do house rules, win these games, and then move on. Like, fuck up out of here.
It's just a matter of can we keep some guys healthy enough to field the skill people to play.
Take me to the final drive. And kind of, I've seen some stuff that was Mike, NFL Films has released some stuff. The anxiety, the heat, the pressure, kind of, you had time. Time was not the issue.
You wouldn't let me pick it because I was strafing. So, I still should be able to die for
that. You had
that.
a precedent, you'd been good. But this is the Super Bowl. Take me to the final drive and take your time on this, what it felt like.
Somehow figure out how to put that on my lurker
and really,
player.
The play call was something that we had talked about all week. Really for a 3rd down or 4th down situation. You felt really confident. We were like, man, this is a good one. We knew we had a chance. We convert this. It just kind of felt like once we got in a rhythm against them, we got that first down, we were able to move it. And that was kind of the first half was. And so once we picked up the first down on that one, it was really like, all right, everybody just execute. Let's hit the open guy, get a couple yards every play, and just make this a long, just execute and drive. But we know we can do that. We know that's what we're able to do right now. And so that's really how the drive felt. It felt like slowly but surely the momentum was building that it was going to be tough for us to stop them. And I think, obviously, I play along, but man, the job those guys did up front, keeping Matthew clean for that series was awesome. I mean, I couldn't have been more proud to be.
Bro, why are they not letting me? Bro, that's a pick. Like, I should be able to make a play on that ball. Like, I'm right freaking there. I don't get that shit. Like, for the life of me, I don't get that. Like, why can't I make a play on that shit?
You've had Goff and Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton was making Pro Bowls when you were there, and Jared Goff got to a Super Bowl, won playoff games. How is Matt different in the huddle?
You know, he just has a special demeanor about him. That it's one of those things that no matter how a play goes, his positivity, his attitude about the next one, you know, is not affected at all. Good, bad, or indifferent. He's got a smile on his face. He loves competing. I mean, there's a couple drives in that last 4th quarter there that, like, you know, we're on that drive to Sean Wendy's.
Maybe this guy will hike the ball today. Who knows? Maybe if I'm lucky, he'll hike it.
Let's just keep working.
Probably not, though.
Like the demeanor he can have in those kind of moments.
Pick! Give me that shit, boy. He walked right into that one.
You know, want to give everything you got to win.
Freeze out. Don't forget to keep your coat on, boy.
Exactly what you think he deserves, and that's the recognition of being one of the best.
You know, Aaron Donald, I've said this, the 3 greatest.
Yeah, the house rules are way better. It's just one drive. That's it. You either stop them or you don't, or you score or you don't. That's it. Like, I like that. House rule. I mean, weekend league is just like, please shoot me, like multiple times. That's what weekend league is. Like multiple times getting shot.
And the first times that you did have to, and it doesn't happen a lot because he's on the interior, but you're 6'6.5", 3, about 300. Is that right, Andrew?
I need 15 more.
20, something like that.
Okay, so
15 more
first
wins.
couple times you went up against him in a drill. What was it like?
Basically 15 drives.
It's unbelievable, really, to me. I mean, I've obviously
stops, depending on how they put it, a combination.
Dwight Brainy and how quick he was and his ability to spin, or James Harrison, or Terrell Suggs.
I'll probably get off after that, honestly, because like this game is so stressful.
Guys who are perfect tweeners of like DeMarcus Ware, or even John Abraham back in the day, so explosive. And what's really rare about Aaron Donald is he really has the power of a guy like James Harrison and Terrell Suggs. And then the ability to be explosive with his first step, with his quick movements, like you're facing a smaller, you know, Elvis Dumervil or Dwight Freeney or Von Miller, the reaction skills. It's to me, it's really what separates him is that you can't just go one thing. You can't say, I'm going to stop his power, because he'll explode by you before you even get a chance to touch him. And so you're always living in a world of trying to recover. And as a pass blocker, it's like, what am I recovering from? You know, his strength or his speed. And so it's just, you almost always feel like you're on your heels. And as an O-lineman, that's the worst place you could ever have to live.
Yeah. Have you made up your mind on retirement yet?
I haven't. I mean, obviously, I think it's a pretty strong chance that this is it. I mean, I don't know that I could ever draw a more dream scenario than playing franchise in the Super Bowl.
Now I gotta
a lot of guys I respect
try to
so
spank
much
you.
Really neat for me. Really opportunity. And
I wanted that
I'm
touchdown.
so thankful to be where I was and on the football team.
Jared Cook would have got me though. I saw him. He had the angle. Unless I faked him out.
I've had over my career.
When you, I said, it's very rare. Whenever there's an expansion team, they're instantly
14.
popular in a city, right? We all know that. But to
I wish I could
move
just
a
hop into the
franchise
next game.
to a busy
Can't believe
city
they
like
didn't
LA,
make that
you
like
get
an
lost.
option yet.
I mean, the Chargers, when they came from San Diego to LA, they kind of got lost for a few years. They're just now kind of rehabbing it. They got the quarterback. The Rams culture is so strong.
Oh, it's so
even
strong.
With USC, the Dodgers, the Lakers, the mountains, the beach. This is a
You know
distracted
how
city. There's a lot to
strong
do.
it is?
I feel
It's
like
like
the Rams
so
really
wicked
fit Los Angeles. When you
strong.
got here, you know, in
Like, didn't
Cincinnati,
you
you got the
know?
Reds, you got the Bengals.
It's like
That's what you got.
wicked.
Here, that we got two of everything. How long did it take you with McVay to just sense, wow?
Just to
when I look at
say,
Sean, I think of culture.
McVay.
It's Shanahan, it's the schematics and offense. Belichick, it's
Hi,
the
puppy.
defense. Sean,
Num-nums.
it's building cultures. It's standing in front
Hi,
of
puppy,
men
num-nums.
and creating a belief system. How long did it
Does
take
the
before
puppy
you
want
went,
num-nums?
wow, this is, I've had a lot of coaches, this is different.
You want num-nums?
I'll be honest with you. I had a conversation with him right when I agreed to sign. That when I was talking about whether I'd agree to my contract in LA, that he was everything that I ever wanted to see out of a coach and a culture and what was important to me in football. After my 11 years in Cincinnati,
Is the puppy a good
I
boy
knew
or no?
quickly that I'm on record with a lot of friends with this. I thought this guy was going to be unbelievably special after just a couple meetings with him, and you knew that it was going to be rare. And me and him actually talked about this last night. We were visiting.
Literally everybody comes out in this formation. It's so gay. Like literally everyone does this formation. Everyone. Give me this though. It's easy to defend it when everyone does it. It's like no one can think for themselves. It's like everyone is a part of it. Everyone's a sheep. Everyone's a sheep out here doing the same freaking formation. Same play. It's like I'm playing the same person over and over again.
It's been unbelievable for me to be with a guy.
And that's why I left the first game, because I play that formation all the time, but they want to pick and choose when I can make plays on the ball. Got my guys going at the ball like this on high points when they should be doing this for a high point. Why the fuck would anyone go like this for a high point ball? And it's literally 4 or 5 times in a row they have my guy go like this instead of going like that.
By the way, here's a moment from the parade.
That's like a difference of 3 feet, 3 to 4 feet, depending on when you're jumping and the length of your arms. Like that's a 4 feet difference. I think you would catch the fucking football if you did the right thing.
My time was done. And I tell you this for every single person standing out there that's ever doubted.
That's how you know this game is developed by non-football players. Because anyone that plays football would have seen that development and been like, no, you got to make the arm go straight up. You can't T-Rex arm it because no one goes pro football like that. You're coached not to do that.
World damn champions.
That's great. Isn't that great? Well, I hope you stay here when you retire. We got a minute left. Are you going to stay in California if you do retire?
Oh, I'll be here. I'm going to be playing a lot of golf, and I'll be around. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the future, man. I'm excited to live in L.A. Our family will be raising our kids here, and we'll be here for a long time.
Andrew, again, congrats, Walter Payton, Man of the Year award. You're such a treat for us, and congrats, man.
That was set up for him because they knew he was leaving. He paid his dues for the NFL. When you pay your dues, bro, they send you off nicely.
Green, I would say restructure. Listen, I think he carries like a $22 million dead cap hit. I don't want any
Wow,
part of
I've
that.
been on
Saints
defense
obviously
4
have a lot
times
of
in a
cap
row.
issues.
I mean, I don't mind it,
More importantly than
because if
that,
you
this is
stop
team
them, it's a
that's
wrap,
going through
and we
lot
just
of
got
transition.
4 stops in
New
a
head
row.
coach. I want to keep some consistency.
Pressure's on them
and
to
keeping
score,
Michael Thomas
actually.
makes sense to me.
Yeah, we've barely seen on the
This is
last
their
couple
Super
years.
Bowl
And
drive,
about
basically.
Darius Smith in Green Bay, restructure or release?
Pick! Give me that! Give me that! Give me that! That was probably the sickest pick I had all day. I literally just undercut the shit out of him. Oh my god, yo. You literally got shitted on. Freeze out! Don't forget to keep your coat on!
How about Amari Cooper, restructure
Boy.
or release?
Greeny, I'm gonna
Bruh, that was... Whoa, he did not see that shit coming. I came out of nowhere. Like, yoink! Thank you!
Well, I want to keep as many targets as possible around Dak. Michael Gallup coming off an ACL. I like Amari Cooper to stay in Dallas.
Yeah, but to your point, at the
Coming off an ACL, I like Amari Cooper to stay in Dallas.
Yeah, but to your point, at the number that he's sitting at, it seems unwieldy. And these are some of the potential cap hits the Cowboys could take. Look at the star power on your screen, and most importantly, look at the bottom. By releasing Ezekiel Elliott, they would not save any money against the cap this year. They would need to trade him and have the acquiring team be willing to absorb all of the salary. That certainly seems unlikely. So that's not a spot they can go to for cap relief. But Mike T, you were making this point in our meeting.
Do I have a team?
That there are
What do you mean?
a variety of reasons to think that the Cowboys' best chance.
I don't like, no, I don't have a favorite team, though. I know the NFL's fake, so why would I have a favorite team?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's going to be hard to keep
that would be like,
I
I don't know. It's just weird. It's like saying, like, my favorite Power Ranger is the Red Ranger or something. It's just dumb, you know?
At the defensive end position.
I do not have a favorite team. I just analyze and show you what's going on.
$19 million and keep, as Kimberly alluded to, someone
No,
like
I don't have
Amari
a favorite
Cooper,
team, no.
maybe Lyle Collins. As much as
It's
you
all
lose
fake.
a guy like DeMarcus Lawrence, you say to yourself, with the 24th pick, Reedy, is it reasonable for us to...
Before I knew it was fake, even then I didn't have a favorite team. I just liked watching it. I had like players I like to watch. Just because you can get better from it. Certain things, obviously not everything.
All of the pressure to win.
But once you dissect the tape, you can really see how fake it is and how it's just, yeah, it's just not what it seems.
A potentially difficult situation in Dallas for Dak Prescott, because look, the expectations for Dak from here on out, since he got paid, are simple. Win a Super Bowl. That's what Jerry wants. He gave you the money. But this is not all on Dak. You know, this team, it's not...
Oh, that was a good throw. He threw it over me. And then they have Ronnie Lott take a angle. Take a angle. Like Ronnie Lott would take an angle like that.
They need some safety and linebacker help. We talk about Micah Parsons all the time, but the kid can't do it alone. So they need to plug some holes, get some depth on this roster, and I think they'll be in good shape.
Not only that, though, you know, Mike T, Damian Woody brought up earlier.
Get him. Sit him down. Sit him down. Sit him down.
It was a real thing.
Boy.
Historically, if you give me a small guy and a big guy, I'll take
He just keeps doing slants every time.
And when he broke into the league,
He just wants to slant me to death.
Chamberlain's
Slant me. Slant me. Sit him down, boy. Sit, look, boy.
There's a report now he's going to need a second surgery on a foot, and weight's still a problem. And when you compare him, juxtapose him with...
You better throw that quick. You're only going to have 2 seconds, boy. You're only going to have 2 seconds, boy.
When Zion came out,
You got 2 seconds to throw the ball, boy.
The brand, the small...
Get him, boy. Get him. Sit him. Freeze out. Don't forget to keep your coat on, boy.
He was super talented. That was indisputable. But it's easy today, and this is what social media is all about. Nobody's ever wrong on social media. Everybody's an expert. Every D-list actor is, they're all geniuses. The reality is, if you go to the last 20 titles in the NBA, a lot of
do-da,
bigs with those
do-da,
titles. Duncan's
little
got
puppy,
4,
num num
Shaq's
nums,
got
little
3 or
puppy,
4.
yay.
Kobe without Shaq and Gasol was on a bad Laker team. So
Hi, little
Gasol's got a
puppy.
couple.
Are you okay, puppy?
Dirk's got 1. Steph's got a couple.
Is the little
But
puppy
the best
okay?
version of them had Kevin Durant. Steph's got 1 without him, 2 with him.
I just want to know if you're okay, little puppy, because you're my little puppy.
Giannis now has 1.
You're my stinky little puppy.
Bigs. That's what general managers like. Steph Curry's got Steph
Yeah,
Curry got 1.
NBA's it's all fake. All pro sports are fake.
Of all time. And John Morant.
I might break that down in the future, but yeah, it's all fake, yo.
And Steph Marbury. And Iverson.
I'm just wrapped in the NFL right now, getting that
John
broken
Walton,
down.
And none of those guys have a title. In fact,
Maybe one day I'll start with the NBA. It's just harder to analyze the NBA because it's not, for NBA, it's not the whole game. It's more like the end of the games are rigged. They let the games play out, and then towards the end, the last 2 minutes of NBA games, that's when the rigging happens. Especially if it's a close game, that's when the referees start coming out. I mean, they do it throughout the game too, but most people don't watch NBA games the whole way through. They watch the fourth quarters.
And then Phoenix has
and that's where the rigging happens. So maybe I can do that. I'll start like doing videos in the last 2 minutes of like historic games, just to show like the non-calls, missed calls, purposely like letting guys get rebounds, guys not playing defense, not closing out, not rotating, just like lazy play on defense. Like there's a lot of things that I can pick out on NBA, but it's just the games are it's just different because the games are quicker. There's more possessions. Like with football, I can like break down a whole possession. You know what I mean? And like that'll be all right. With basketball, breaking down each and every possession, that takes forever. Like it'll take me like 2 hours to break down a whole NBA game. And I mean, there'll be people that will watch that, but it's just like it's a lot. So I might have to just break down the last 2 minutes of games. I'll figure it out.
Really important.
I'll take the best course of action.
Johnson's the best point guard ever. He's 6'8.5". But what about Isaiah Thomas? They were the bad boys. They were a physical team with Lambeer and Rick Mahorn, Joe Dumars, even their guards.
Rick Mahorn was a beast. I remember him.
If you look at the Isaiah Thomas, say, well, they won a couple championships and he was the best player. He was, but it was a very physically imposing team.
Rick Mahorn didn't take
point guards
from nobody.
And under guys, they don't lead you to championships. And so I understand. I was one of those. I think Zion's the pick. But it always came with a caveat. Like, the dude, I talked to a general manager about this years ago. And he said, he goes, I would take Zion knowing there's about a 30% chance he'll bust. Knowing with John Morant, there's no percent chance he'll bust. But in this league, if you want to win titles, even Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bean Bryant did it.
Because in between Shaq
and
he was on bad teams.
I tricked you. Now I gotta kick you.
Just won a Super Bowl. Many suspect he will retire.
Now he's got, I think that's 6, so we just need 10 more, I think.
This is it, the putt to win the championship. You got it lined up.
You're going right through these things, right, baby boy? Right, puppy? Right? You want num-nums?
How you want to run your business? Really brutal.
They
say he's out 2 to 4 weeks. I'm sorry, but if you watch the injury, that's not a 2-week injury. Dude's out for a month. He's increasingly brittle, and we know that. And the Lakers are in 9th place in the West. They're not the 9th best NBA team. They're 9th right now in the West. They're not close to a Milwaukee. They're not close to a Philadelphia. They're not as good as Miami in the East. I said it yesterday. Before he got hurt, I would trade Anthony Davis and start over.
My puppy.
This is not a great roster. It's an old roster.
Yes, I love my
it lacks great chemistry. It doesn't have depth. Don't get distracted beating Utah. The Rams are celebrating a Super Bowl. You're clinging to a win over Utah.
Yeah, we just need 10 more.
In the West.
I can get that done easy.
What's remarkable about this is LeBron is still excellent. He has a chance. He'll either
win
do
that 10 more times.
Or finish second. LeBron was dominating.
It's literally like 10. That's like the equivalent of like
a physical
a game
marvel,
almost.
Absolutely great. And a guy that'll get MVP votes can't get this roster above 9th. And LeBron's never really worked or flourished with young teammates. He struggled with Mario Chalmers in Miami. He didn't want anything to do with Andrew Wiggins in Cleveland. And first thing he did in L.A., he never got along with Kuzma, the Josh Harts, the Lonzo Balls. He flushed them out. So AD was a natural fit, right? A veteran, been around, bad franchise, come join LeBron. The problem is he's now become the worst possible teammate of 19th year LeBron. He's simply unreliable. And what you have in the NBA, and it's something we've always known, right? Like I say in the NFL, you can't be terrible in any unit in the NFL. Bengals are really, really bad on the offensive line. It cost them the Super Bowl because the coaching's too good in the NFL. You don't have to be great at everything. You don't have to be great at a lot.
Basically all
you can't be terrible at anything. In the NBA, you have got
so
to
hard
have
to get
second
anything.
and third scoring options.
I was getting lucky early in the
Kobe
year
Bryant,
with limited,
after
and then
Shaq
ever
and
since
before
then,
Pau
haven't
Gasol,
gotten
lousy
shit.
Laker team. Michael Jordan before Pippen never won a playoff series. I mean, these are the greatest players of all time. The problem is now Milwaukee's got a second and third option. Philadelphia just got a second great option. Tobias Harris a solid third. Phoenix has 3 or 4 options. Golden State several. With Anthony Davis's unreliability, Lakers don't have a second option on any given night. And there's nothing to grab onto with this organization. Are they an elite three-point shooting team?
Nope.
Nah. Are they an elite defensive team?
No.
What are they great at? Do they have great chemistry? Nah. How about draft picks? No. Youth. Some young ascending players? No, don't have that either. This is a blow-up roster. That's what it is. And Anthony Davis will come back, and between he and LeBron, they'll win a playoff series. Buy low, sell high. I think it's time to move off Anthony Davis. I don't think you should look at it as a failure. He came as a brutal player, got you a championship, and I've said this before. The pandemic did the Lakers more than any team in this league a huge favor. It gave brittle AD and older LeBron a 3.5 to 4 month hiatus. They have never duplicated it. It's been disappointing since. And that injury was not a 2 to 3 week injury. That was brutal. That was like watching at home, hard to watch a second time. I'm sitting there. That's injury. That is maybe not Joe Theismann, but like ugly injury for a big guy who keeps getting hurt more regularly. I think it's time to move off him and start over. You got Super Bowl champs down the street celebrating. Lakers now are not a top 12 team in the NBA. Don't get distracted beating Utah. So Warren Sharp
up for grabs. So here's how the Eastern Conference standings are shaking out right now. Stephen A., you mentioned this earlier. After last night's win, the Bulls have a half-game lead on the Heat. After that, the Sixers and Bucks rounding out the top 4. Big Perk, who's the favorite to win the East?
Get him. Bruh. There's literally no way. I literally beat him to the ball, to the spot. I was in front of him. Look at this. I clicked on, and he's in front, and they let him get in front of me. Okay. Okay.
About that offensive firepower, I'm thinking about that high pick and roll. And when I said a duo since Kobe and Shaq, I'm talking about a
bro. That's a
pick. I just can't.
That's a
just process. How are you going to stop 2 guys that get buckets on the level that they get buckets? How are you going to stop 2 guys that are able to get to the free throw line the way that they're able to get to the free throw line? Think about this. Joel Embiid right now is leading the league in scoring.
Oh, that's mine.
He has to do
that's mine all day. You're going to try Cam? Like Cam 899, speed 99 excel. Actually 98 speed, but still, you ain't getting by him. He's 99 excel, 98 speed. Like, there's just no way you're running by him. It's just not going to happen. Even if you do have 99 both, it's like, it's just not enough.
He's one of the best, if not the best wing defender in the NBA. Danny Green, he's a 3-time champion. He knows how to elevate his game. And so when I look at this Philadelphia 76 roster, and I just look at those 2 in particular, I just don't know how can they be stopped offensively, and it's going to be hard to stop or game plan for them and make adjustments when the postseason comes. Well, the postseason
we need 9 more.
In my opinion. but I don't know how any team is going to make adjustments to stop those two, especially in the pick and roll.
I get where you're coming from.
But
I'm thinking about how the 76ers depleted his bench a little bit, though. You know, you kept Thibault, you kept Maxey, you got Embiid, Tobias Harris, and now James Harden. But what do you have coming off the bench? I think that's a question mark. And I got to tell you, as I sit here today, I know they've lost 3 of their last 4, including the Philadelphia where they gave up 42 and like 11 or 42 and 14 to Joel Embiid. But I can't jump off this Milwaukee bandwagon just yet. I'm just of the mindset that when I look at them and I look at the rest of the East, the question marks in Philly, the question marks in Brooklyn, Miami, still question mark, but I like it, and you know I'm rooting to be there, June. You know I had no problem with that.
I'm right there with you.
It's just that I get the impression watching Milwaukee, this is Milwaukee. We're the champions. We know we're the champions. And we're not going to show our full arsenal until it's time. It's similar to what we're looking at when we look at the Golden State Warriors. They're the number 2 seed.
I'd rather play defense because, like, just make a stop, the game's over. Offense takes longer.
Because Steph, Clay, and Dre are 3-time champions. 5 straight trips to the NBA Finals. They kind of know what it takes. And I think when I look at Milwaukee right now, I don't blame you for saying Philadelphia. I would be inclined to say Brooklyn. If everybody were healthy and on the court together, Brooklyn would be my choice.
No.
But the one thing that I look at with the Milwaukee Bucks, which is why I put them at the top of the heap right now in the East, is because I look at Giannis and Drew and Middleton knowing how to play their roles. And that's what I look at, and I just say, it's hard for me to get away from that chemistry, that cohesiveness with the chaos that exists within the Eastern Conference. I've got to stay with Milwaukee, at least for now.
You know what's crazy? Stephen A?
Jump. Like, he wouldn't move. I don't like that.
For hours and debate on why
he would not move his body, bro. Bro, what's with the stamina? Why are my guys so tired?
Milwaukee to the Miami Heat. But I will point out this to you about.
Bro, they got my guys so tired right now.
This is something that I'm concerned about. Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, all right, went from winning the championship.
That's some bull. They got my players so tired.
To flying, to winning the gold medal, and I'm just worried about their durability. I'm worried about those fresh legs. I'm worried about that because now that you done traded a guy like P.J. Tucker, guess what? It's more on your plate, more on Chris Middleton's plate defensively. Like, he's gonna have to guard multiple positions now. It's no more. Hey, if we face the Brooklyn Nets, P.J. Tucker is gonna make it tough on KD. Chris Middleton is gonna have to go check that. And I want to know
what is that, bro? Why is that?
Legs and durability to be able to get it done on both sides of the floor. That's why I say it was very key when they lost P.J. Tucker. I was like, that right there bothered me. And I know
he's in Miami.
I know Bobby Portis. He is in Miami, and I know Bobby Portis. Look, he's been balling, but P.J. Tucker just brings a different type of tenacity.
I agree, defensively, and he's in Miami.
We'll leave it there. Big Perk, you'll be back with us. Coming up next, Kimberly A. Martin joining Stephen A. I'm not up for grabs, so here's how the Eastern Conference standings are shaking out right now. Stephen A., you mentioned this earlier. After last night's win, the Bulls have a half-game lead on the Heat. After that, the Sixers and Bucks rounding out the top 4. Big Perk, who's the favorite to win the East?
Molly.
That's how you get her done. We need 8 more. That's how you just grind right through. This team is a bunch of grinders.
Because I'm just
except for when we
of the
play
duo between
weekend league.
Joel Embiid and James Harden. I'm thinking about that offensive firepower. I'm thinking about that high pick roll. And when I said a duo since Kobe and Shaq, I'm talking about a guard and a big. I just can't just process how are you going to stop 2 guys that get buckets on the level that they get buckets? How are you going to stop 2 guys that are able to get to the free throw line the way that they're able to get to the free throw line? Think about this. Joel Embiid right now is leading the league in scoring. And he has to do it by shooting over double teams and triple teams and all those things to that nature. Now you add James Harden. James Harden is going to get Joel Embiid so many.
We'll send it to a different email.
I just don't know how a team is going to stop them offensively. And Philadelphia do have wing.
It should have It should have a phone number on file.
NBA. Danny Green, he's a three-time champion. He knows how to elevate his game. And so when I look at this Philadelphia 76 roster, and I just look at those two in particular, I just don't know how can they be stopped offensively, and it's going to be
don't use that word
or game plan for them and make adjustments when the postseason comes. Well, the postseason is here, in my opinion. But I don't know how any team is going to make adjustments to stop those two, especially in the pick and roll.
I get where you're coming from. I'm thinking about how the 76ers depleted his bench a little bit, though. You know, you kept Thibault, you kept Maxey, you got Embiid, Tobias Harris, and now James Harden. But what do you have coming off the bench? I think that's a question mark. And I got to tell you, as I sit here today, I know they've lost 3 of their last 4, including the Philadelphia where they gave up 42 and like 11 or 42 and 14 to Joel Embiid. But I can't jump off this Milwaukee bandwagon just yet. I'm just of the mindset that when I look at them and I look at the rest of the East, the question marks in Philly, the question marks in Brooklyn, Miami, still question mark, but I like it, and you know I'm rooting to be there. You know I have no problem.
I'm right there with you.
It's just that I get the impression watching Milwaukee, this is Milwaukee. We're the champions. We know we're the champions. And we're not going to show our full arsenal until it's time. It's similar to what we're looking at when we look at the Golden State Warriors. They're the number 2 seed in the West. And everybody's saying they're right where they want to be. Why? Because Steph, Clay, and Dre are 3-time champions. 5 straight trips to the NBA Finals. They kind of know what it takes. And I think when I look at Milwaukee right now, I don't blame you for saying Philadelphia. I would be inclined to say Brooklyn. If everybody were healthy and on the court together, Brooklyn would be my choice.
No.
But the one thing that I look at with the Milwaukee Bucks, which is why I put them at the top of the heap right now in the East, is because I look at Giannis and Drew and Middleton knowing how to play their roles. And that's what I look at, and I just say, it's hard for me to get away from that chemistry, that cohesiveness with the chaos that exists within the Eastern Conference. I got to stay with Milwaukee, at least for now.
You know what's crazy? Stephen A?
Bro, they wouldn't let me.
We actually could.
Bro, they wouldn't let me pick that off. I hate this game.
On why 5
That's a
teams
pick.
in the Eastern Conference could really win the East.
Oh, I hate this game. That's literally a pick on Tuesday, Wednesday, and every day on the week. Like literally, but okay.
About the Milwaukee Bucks, and this is something that I'm concerned about. Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, all right, went from winning the championship to getting on the private jet,
right now,
to
like
flying,
in the ass.
to winning the gold medal, and
I'm literally getting fucked
their
over.
durability. I'm worried about those fresh
Like,
legs.
I literally was
I'm
right
worried
in the
about that
line of the
because
ball
now
to get the
that
pick,
you done
and they wouldn't
traded
let me
a
get it.
A guy like PJ
For
Tucker,
whatever
guess what?
reason.
It's more on your plate. More
So
on Chris
dumb.
Middleton plate defensively. Like, he's gonna have to guard multiple positions now. It's no more.
Thank you.
Hey, if we face the Brooklyn Nets, PJ Tucker is gonna make it tough on KD. Chris Middleton is gonna have to go check that. And I want to know is he gonna have those legs and durability to be able to get it done on both sides of the floor? That's why I say it was very key when they lost PJ Tucker. I was like, that right there bothered me. And I know
he's in Miami.
I know Bobby Portis. He is in Miami, and I know Bobby Portis. Look, he's been balling, but PJ Tucker just bring a different type of tenacity.
I agree, defensively, and he's in Miami.
All right, we'll leave it there. Big Perk, you'll be back with us. Coming up next, Kimberly A. Martin joining Stephen A. I'm actually.
He doesn't have the stats that stamp him as a surefire Hall of Famer, that he wouldn't get his vote for the Hall of Fame. Shots. Should Antonio Brown be a lock for the Hall of Fame? Duh. Antonio Brown is one of those players to me that should get into the Hall of Fame even before the 5-year period. Like, he's that good. I was thinking about it this morning. Pound for pound, Antonio Brown, top 2 receiver of all time. Pound for pound. You're talking about 5'10", 185. You might think Jerry Rice. Yeah, 6'2", 200 pounds. You might think Marvin Harrison. Yeah, 6'4", 185. You might think, exactly. You got Steve Smith. You got Antonio Brown. Pound for pound, best wide receivers the game of football has ever seen, period. Anybody who doesn't put Antonio Brown in the Hall of Fame and doesn't put Antonio Brown in the Hall of Fame immediately is not separating the art from the artist. Yes, sir. Antonio Brown's art as a wide receiver, greater than just about anybody we've seen this generation. Now, Antonio Brown, the artist, the human being, clearly people feel different type of ways about him. But Antonio Brown's art is what gets you into the Hall of Fame. Because if we are limiting people from getting into the Hall of Fame based upon character, better get Lawrence Taylor up out of there. Ben Roethlisberger, he better not see the Hall of Fame. Michael Irvin, gotta get him about awards.
Bro, look at the angle that he takes.
So, if we are eliminating people from the Hall of Fame based upon character, then we have to have a very uncomfortable conversation. And if you're putting people into the Hall of Fame based upon character, Calais Campbell don't even need 100 sacks. Put my dog Calais Campbell in there. Greg Olsen, you better put him in there yesterday. Sam Acho, put him in there too if you putting people in there. Where your boy at? If you go down to Sam, you got that dude, big dog. Man, damn it. I did too much. So if you are putting people into the Hall of Fame based upon character, you have a long line of incredible human beings. If you are eliminating people from the Hall of Fame based upon character, it's time to get the bouncer, because we got to throw some people out the club. But if we are going to look at the art and not the artist, then you better put Antonio Brown in the Hall of Fame immediately. Quick full screen, and I am done with my first lap and maybe the entirety of this conversation. Antonio Brown, over that 6-year span, he's greater than just about anybody in the 6-year span that we have ever seen. Because from 2013 to 2018, first in receptions, first in targets, second in reception yards, ninth in reception touchdown. Antonio Brown had a 6-year span that we have not seen since Jerry Rice. Is Antonio Brown a Hall of Famer? Absolutely. And as a Hall of Fame voter, you have to remember, you are voting on the art, not the artist.
Say it again, man. Say it again. Golly, I'm going to say it the same way. I'm going to try and do it different. Oh, my God. Between the white lines, Antonio Brown, obvious first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't want to hear anything else. To your point, let's change the rules. As soon as you retire and you're not coming back, let him in. Like, let's just get this party started. Between the whites, he was Black Rob. You know who that is? Whoa. Boy, Antonio Brown. Whoa. Let me give y'all this. I'm going to give you some numbers before I just start going into how much fanfare I could shower his way. Most consecutive seasons with over 100 catches and 1,200 receiving yards in NFL history. Antonio Brown is the one with 6. Marvin Harrison is next, but with only 4. Only 4, okay? A third fewer. Jerry Rice had 3. Different era. Point being, y'all forgot who this dude AB really is. AB was a monster. Now what we're dealing with, let's be real, because I don't want to just go kumbaya, are voters who blur the lines between performance and personality. Let's just be real. Who blur the lines between the act and the actor, right? Who are now starting to bring in character to this competition, right? They made T.O., who they said, liars, was a bad teammate. They said, T.O., you have to wait to being 3rd ballot, despite being top 3 all time in all statistical categories. 3rd ballot. T.O. had to wait. I think they're going to try and run this paper again on Antonio Brown. And he gave him a moment. He gave him a poster. He gave him an image to think about. Shirtless, doing whatever he was doing, leaving the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it looks like leaving the NFL, at least for now. Here's the problem with that. We know too much to now look at the Hall of Fame the same way these voters want us to. If we're going to take into account indiscretions, I'm not even going to say the names, because the names you said were obvious. I know some other ones that y'all have been fooled to believe that they were great, and I'm going to protect the guilty. But the point is, man, I don't want to get into how you were unfaithful to your wife. You got into this issue off the field. I don't care, because you know what? If you really want to talk about it, a voter,
Are you perfect? Like, are we going to use that criteria? So, no, I'm going to judge you, voter, by how you write. And you're going to judge me, voter, by how I ball. And between the white lines, Black Rob was, whoa.
Let me just add a little spice to this, and this is a life concept, not just a Antonio Brown conversation. It's almost one of those matters of don't judge people because they sin differently than you. Because we might not discriminate against the Hall of Fame potential candidate who cheated on his wife. Oh, he just cheated on his wife. Exactly. But Antonio Brown, he left his teammates high and dry. How dare he? We might not judge the Hall of Fame potential candidate who got a DWI. I've drank and driven before. It's not a big deal. But we look at the other one. How dare he cuss out his head coach? Morality is different depending upon the individual. So we cannot start to look at morality as it pertains to letting people into the Hall of Fame. It is not Hall of Good Person. It is Hall of Fame based upon talent on the football field. Hard conversation for me. You know this. I try to be a good human being. I try to be both kind and nice. Marcellus has educated me on what he believes the difference is. I've had that introspective dialogue within my own head. But when it comes to the Hall of Fame, y'all, we just got to look at talent. And Antonio Brown is one of the most talented receivers the game of football has ever seen. He is first ballot, period.
Yeah, it has to be objective. Look, sports is supposed to be a meritocracy. At least the competition is, but even that's subjective because there are officials there who may call something, may not call something. You can call holding on every play. Well, do you do it? No. Well, it's subjective. All of a sudden, our meritocracy has been undermined by subjectivity. I get it.
We need 5
But
more.
then we're going to now create a Hall of Fame, which the criteria should be objectively, who were you as a player? Because everything else is up to me in terms of opinion when this entity is supposed to be based on performance. And that performance is forever in time. My grandkids can look on Google and say, Antonio Brown was out there eating, daddy, and don't know anything about Antonio Brown. Now, I could color in the lines and start telling them, well, he also did this and did that. And they was like, yeah, I hear you there, but he was out here eating, dad. Let me tell you what Antonio Brown did in his 6 years. 1,500. 1,700, 1,800, 1,300, 1,500, 13. Lord. Now you said pound for pound. I don't like that category. I don't like that because look, like, if God made you little, you better just be the little engine that could. Like, I don't want to hear about your littleness. Here's the thing, but I will respect where you were drafted because sometimes you can be drafted first round, you're a big dog, and you're fifth round or whatever. This is interesting. Most career receiving yards of a player drafted in the 5th round or later. So the ones that we are kind of like, we'll see. Look what we saw. Antonio Brown, number 1. You know who's on this list? I just wanted to say it because I see the top 5 right here. Donald Driver and Shannon Sharp. Talk about the little engine that could in terms of draft selection. Antonio Brown, every way you look at it, objectively, there's no way to slight him. But you know these old crankers out there, they'll try crankers out there, you know what I'm saying? They'll try to find a way. You stupid. Coming up, a report says it's not a lot. The 49ers trade Jimmy G.
I remember hearing a story where he pulled Kobe aside and said,
whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's when he started changing around his style a little bit? Yeah, then you remember he started. What does that mean exactly?
Well, maybe your feet. Your feet always got to be happy. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted to play defense like me.
You got roasted, cowboy.
And I told him,
don't forget to keep the coat on. Freeze out.
Try to plan it and try to move. If your feet is always active during defensive stands, nobody can hit you with a pick. And he started getting that. You know, he got on first team all defense with me that year, and then he started making it with me every year.
Right.
So he was a guy, and I miss him so much because I used to talk to him a lot, that he wanted to learn. He didn't have an ego about learning and asking from OGs. He always had an OG that he want to ask something. He always used to pick my brain. When we come in the locker room, he always like, OG, come on, man, sit down. What did you do this time, man? Why did you do? And we watched film. And he would tell me, why did you do this play and what happened on this play? And he was just soak up so much knowledge. That's why he got so good. You know, everybody used to talk about he shoot the ball. That's just the way he was. He got to score like that. That's the way it was. He had to be 7 for 30. It was just him. But in the crucial time, he gonna make a big shot. He gonna make all big shots every time. I don't care what it was. He's gonna have something special in the game.
You know, I remember I asked Gilbert Arenas what his craziest Kobe story is. You know, he said that Kobe showed up to this one NBA player's birthday party with a security, and he made the whole family in the house go outside and wait.
Karan was telling me once about his birthday. He did a party at his house in Milwaukee, and he said he invited Kobe. And he says, my house, got my family, my friends, our teammates. And they said, Kobe comes in. They said, Kobe comes in, he has security, tells everyone, hey, everyone out of the house.
You kicked everyone out of their own house.
Everyone kicked out, and then he had a security check and make sure everything was.
I think I'm gonna get lagged out.
And then let everybody back in. He said, "I'm sitting outside looking like, yo."
It's taking this long. I'm getting lagged out for sure.
He said that's the way Kobe was. He said that's the way Kobe was. He said you just gotta deal with it.
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's funny.
Security went to the house and make this, and everyone's waiting outside going like, did this motherfucker just kick me out of my house? Are we really all outside right now? This guest is now checking out my house?
Yeah.
Any really over the top Kobe?
At times he was. I mean, and that's just the way it was. When you get accused of something, and then you have to get defensive about a lot of things because you think everybody's out to get you there. We came to training camp, and he had 5 motorcycles shipped to Hawaii, and they all was riding behind him while he riding off and stuff like that. He was just paranoid. Anybody would get paranoid when you're in a situation where you knew what would happen, and then somebody lied on you.
Yeah.
And they did that. You got to get paranoid because you don't know where it's going to come from no more. So now you have to get extra cautious, and that's what he did. Guys don't understand. You never been in that situation, and you 20-something years old, and think you can go to jail the rest of your life, and you one of the greatest basketball players that's playing right now.
Yeah, let's not forget about America's infatuation with white women's tears. And how it just looks from the outside.
And it was looking all bad because all the stuff that was coming out, it was like he was one of these guys who was just was disrespecting her and treating her like trash. And during that time, we couldn't have that. That wasn't what's going on. And I get it. And I got it for a point. That's why the Lakers said, Gary, you be his mentor during this year. And I understood all of that because it's a big deal thinking you're going to go to jail and the rest of your life, especially in a city where they were trying to kill him.
Denver.
They were trying to get him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, how did you feel to finally win, your first finals after being there for the 3rd time? And also, you were how old at the time?
36.
36 years old.
Yeah.
When a lot of people, were probably counting you out and so forth, but here you are, based on your contribution and your overall strategy, you guys actually win.
It felt good. You don't want to